That day, immersed in my studies, a jarring sound from my brother's room broke my concentration. A haunting sound pulled at my soul, urging me to find its origin. Driven by an unquenchable thirst for knowledge, I could no longer ignore the truth. The mystery called and I had to answer. The door lingered open, a breath of allure, and with my heart pounding I nudged it wider. I was utterly stunned by what I saw. My brother sat on his bed, gripping a photo with trembling hands. A snapshot from my last birthday captured pure joy. A fleeting moment of laughter that still echoes in my heart. But what left me breathless was his other hand, moving in a hidden rhythm beneath the blanket. I stood frozen, disbelief flooding my veins, my body rigid and unmovable like stone. Hello all. In a vibrant city, Valentina, on the brink of her 20s, pulses with dreams and hidden tales, poised to shape her destiny. For lives, each with hidden tales, weave together in a powerful blend of love and complexity. My family is my parents, my 18-year-old brother, and me. In the suburbs, we dwell in a simple home, where the mundane transforms into the remarkable in the stillness of our days. Without wealth, our lives still pulse with warmth and happiness. My father builds our world, laying down its very foundations, while my mother maneuvers through the tangled web of her office, confronting the challenges of each day. They labored tirelessly, investing every ounce of their being to create the best life possible for Gabriel and me. Gabriel and I share a bond that feels unbreakable, just 2 years apart in age. We've laid ourselves bare, sharing not only assignments but the heavy burden of our darkest fears and hidden truths. Since Gabriel turned 18, everything changed dramatically. He grew more distant, yet a spark of curiosity flared within me about what had shifted. I dismissed it, chalking it up to the fleeting fancies of youth. I had no idea this change would ignite a chain of events that would forever change how I see the world. The day broke like any other, but an electric tension crackled, foreshadowing the extraordinary that lay ahead. With my parents gone, the house plunged into a haunting silence, leaving only Gabriel and me to confront the shadows swirling around us. The morning vanished in a flurry of tidying, while the afternoon consumed me in the intensity of my studies. Since childhood, I sought the quietest nooks of my home, driven by an insatiable hunger for knowledge, lost in the depths of my studies, untouched by the world. My room is a realm of silence, separated from Gabriel's by a mere thin wall, where solitude envelopes me. That afternoon, as I immersed myself in my books, unsettling sounds drifted from Gabriel's room, drawing my focus away from the pages. It was neither the comforting tunes of music, nor the exhilarating adventures of video games, his usual escapes. A relentless rhythm consumed me, silencing every thought and turning focus into a distant fantasy. I set my book down, brow furrowed, curiosity clawing at me as I wondered what he was up to. Finally, I decided to see for myself. Time froze as I stood frozen, grappling with the shocking reality unfolding around me. A rush of shame and disgust gripped me, tightening my chest and suffocating my breath. Gabriel turned suddenly, his eyes piercing into mine. His face burned red, panic and shame clashing violently in his gaze. "Sis, what are you doing here?" he gasped, his voice quaking with fear. He yanked the blanket tight, clutching the photo like a lifeline, fear radiating from him that I might take it away. The silence in the room was thick, wrapping around each breath like a heavy shroud. Time felt frozen, the world outside suspended in an unsettling stillness. My heart raced, each beat pounding in my ears, while a tight grip around my throat stifled my voice. Gabriel looked away, his hands shaking as they clutched the photo. I summoned the courage to speak, my voice quaking with a storm of confusion and rage. I stood at the edge, wind howling like a restless spirit. Below, churning waters crashed against jagged rocks, a symphony of chaos. My heart raced, each beat echoing the uncertainty gripping my soul. In that instant, fear and thrill collided, standing on the edge of the unknown, poised to dive into the abyss of adventure. "I can explain," Gabriel mumbled, his face burning as he looked down, the silence thick with unspoken truths. "Could you clarify that? How could anyone begin to untangle this enigma?" A wave of shame and heartbreak surged through me, and I erupted, unable to hold back the chaos inside. Gabriel stood still, words caught in his throat, silence crushing him. The air thickened, and in that instant, a vast chasm yawned between us, making the distance painfully clear. I wanted to flee the room, yet a desperate need for answers anchored me in place. "I'm so sorry, sis." A shadow of uncertainty enveloped me, drowning me in confusion. I couldn't understand why this was happening. "I didn't mean to," Gabriel murmured, his voice barely a whisper, eyes cast down, burdened by unvoiced remorse. His words lingered, igniting a storm inside me. Anger boiled, but the shame and fear emanating from him tangled my thoughts, leaving me lost in how to react. With a swift turn, I left the room, my heart pounding violently. Inside my own space, I shut the door quietly and leaned against the wall, struggling to steady my breath. But the vivid scene I had just seen replayed in my mind, an unyielding ghost that clung to me. Questions crashed through my mind, each darker than the last. What drove Gabriel to that choice? Why me? Had I crossed the line without knowing? The boy who once called me Sister Valentina with warmth, the little brother who ran to me in fear, now felt like a ghost, a stranger haunting my heart. The terror in his eyes, the frantic movements I witnessed, shattered the Gabriel I thought I knew. As dusk fell, I was trapped in my room, shaking with a fear that held me back from the world outside. Gabriel stayed hidden, the outside fading into a blur. The house felt cold and heavy, the air thick with an unsettling change that had come over the day. My mind was a tempest, thoughts swirling in disarray. Haunting images replayed endlessly, a relentless cycle that wouldn't let go. A cold fear crept into my heart, mingling with an unfamiliar, unsettling feeling. A storm of emotions raged inside, eclipsing confusion and disappointment. An unsettling unease clawed at my very being. In that instant, a chilling truth enveloped me. My carefree younger brother, Gabriel, harbored feelings for me that shattered our family's sacred boundaries. Emotions surged within me, a tempest I couldn't navigate. A storm raged inside, a mix of disgust and fury at how our once unbreakable bond had twisted into something unrecognizable. Amidst the chaos, Gabriel's eyes pulled me in, a storm of emotions begging for clarity. Confusion swirled around me, hesitation clutched my heart, and an intense chill lingered, unsettling my very core. I wrestled with the haunting idea that I might have created a rift Gabriel misunderstood, or that this was a power beyond my control. That night I lay awake staring at the ceiling. A chilling mix of fear, sorrow, and anxiety gnawed at me, making peace feel impossibly distant. Gabriel's eyes tormented me, that moment replaying in my mind like a relentless nightmare. I yearned to escape. As dawn crept in, I awoke, donning a facade of normalcy while the night's weight clung to me in the shadows. Gabriel emerged from his room, eyes downcast, the air thick with unspoken words. Confusion flickered in his gaze, a desperate wish to flee the chaos surrounding us. As the sun sank lower, our parents returned, laughter ringing through the house, oblivious to the turmoil brewing inside. I smiled, heart pounding, ready to answer my mother's questions, each word a delicate shield over the turmoil inside. A heaviness settled on my heart during it all. Gabriel sat at the table wrapped in a thick silence. His eyes were cast down, burdened by unvoiced thoughts as he devoured his meal. In silence he slipped back into the darkness of his room, shrouded in mystery. Days passed and he retreated further, surfacing only briefly to quell his hunger, the outside world becoming a mere echo. He looked away, escaping the burden of guilt and shame. I was engulfed in uncertainty, lost in the chaos around me. A shadow of unease clung to me, but my mind was solely focused on Gabriel. He was my closest friend, and the idea of this vast, unyielding divide between us consumed me with fear. The silence loomed, heavy and stifling, enveloping us like a dark veil. On a quiet night, as my parents slept soundly and the house seemed to pause, the only noise was the unending tick of the clock. In that moment, I decided to confront Gabriel. I stepped out of my room, heart pounding, standing before his door. A gateway to uncertainty. A narrow beam of light slipped through the crack, silently confirming he was awake. Taking a breath that trembled with anticipation, I knocked gently on the door. "Gabriel, may I come in?" I whispered, my voice barely a whisper, fragile and intimate. Silence hung heavy until his hesitant reply shattered the quiet. "Step inside." I opened the door, finding Gabriel slumped on his bed, back against the wall, eyes downcast in a suffocating silence. The air was thick with tension, an invisible barrier between us, a line neither of us dared to cross. "Gabriel," I started, sitting on the bed's edge, a charged silence hanging between us. "I need to tell you what happened." He interrupted, his voice trembling with urgency. "Don't bring it up again," he murmured, his gaze averted, as if the words themselves were a wound. "Regret clings to me, suffocating. I was wrong, and the weight of my apology is unbearable. I won't hear a word from you." As I looked at him, a profound pain gripped my heart. This was no longer the vibrant, resilient Gabriel I once knew. A soul battered and lost in despair. "I'm not angry with you, Gabriel," I whispered, my voice gentle. "I long to uncover the truth behind it all. I can't stand to see you pull away like this. No matter what happens, you'll always be my little brother, and our family bond is unbreakable." Gabriel stood still, a chill running through him. He whispered, "I don't know." Uncertainty gnawed at me, a shadow in my mind. I couldn't grasp the reason, leaving me adrift in confusion. It was unavoidable, a force I couldn't resist. As your gaze met his voice quivered, on the brink of breaking, the burden of his feelings almost overwhelming. His anguish filled the space, a suffocating presence that left me gasping, aching in ways I couldn't express. I stayed quiet, giving him space to wrestle with his emotions. Then Gabriel's voice shattered the silence, raw and heavy. "I dread the idea of you hating me. My heart races at the thought of you, even as regret eats away at me. I can't escape this self-loathing, and I dread the changes that could shatter our bond." His words cut deep, raw and honest, igniting a storm within me. Chaos surrounded us and clarity slipped away, but one truth held firm. Gabriel didn't need a perfect sister. He craved a presence to anchor him through the chaos. I remained still, the air thick with unspoken words, a fragile line ready to snap. Gabriel's gaze fell, his grip on the blanket tight, as if wrestling with a storm of feelings that threatened to erupt. "Gabriel," I whispered, my voice shaking but warm. My hands found his shoulders, feeling the tension coiled inside him. "I wish for you to see the light within yourself. On the brink of the unknown, I trust our power. Together we will face this trial and rise anew." Gabriel's eyes locked onto mine, a tempest of red, filled with chaos and silent struggles. "Do you really mean it? Do you really feel no hatred for me?" His voice trembled, a desperate plea echoing. I nodded, a weight pressing down on my heart as my words lingered. "I will help you through this, Gabriel. I'll be here, always ready for your call." Gabriel's eyes met mine, uncertainty flashing briefly. Then, without hesitation, he wrapped me in a tight embrace, as if holding me could bind us together for eternity. I held on tight, unwilling to release him. My fingers glided softly over his back, a quiet comfort that was both needed and fraught with doubt. "Sis," he breathed, his words brushing against my ear like a gentle whisper. Uncertainty eats at my core, yet I can't break free. My body tightens, but I stay anchored. Gabriel falters, his gaze heavy with confusion and regret. I stepped back, drawing the line between us. His lips grazed mine and I let go. The kiss hung in the air, a fragile yet passionate moment, releasing the flood of emotions we had both kept hidden. In that moment, all walls crumbled. Dread surged through me, a haunting whisper warning me of the danger. Logic screamed, a fierce reminder that we were crossing into forbidden territory, a place where no limits should ever break. My heart, filled with a fierce longing to ease his pain, drowned out all reason. Gabriel had fallen into deep despair, and as I considered my choices, I convinced myself that this was the only way to save him. When my fingers grazed his back, the chasm between us vanished entirely. Gabriel's gaze locked onto mine, a storm of guilt and vulnerability swirling within. His lips grazed mine, a soft yet electric touch that stole my breath. In that moment we crossed a line, knowing there was no return. As darkness enveloped us, the silence thickened, heavy with unvoiced regrets. We were engulfed in our own chaos, yearning for the connection we had lost. A suffocating silence enveloped us, thick with unvoiced regrets and the burden of a boundary nearly breached. As the tension faded, I rose, my heart weighed down by remorse. I smoothed my clothes, struggling to regain my composure, and slipped out of the room, the aftermath of what had just happened clinging to me. Gabriel was silent, unvoiced thoughts pressing down like a storm. He lay on the bed, motionless, eyes barely open, lost in a whirlwind of chaos. I pushed forward, not daring to look back. Once in my room, I collapsed onto the bed, exhaustion crashing over me like a relentless wave. My body ached, but it was the weight on my soul that pressed down hardest. Doubt clawed at me, a persistent whisper in the dark, but a spark of hope flickered, urging me to believe this choice could pull Gabriel from the void. Morning light pierced through, and I awoke from a troubled sleep, my body and soul weighed down by fatigue. The remnants of last night clung to me like a shroud, as if I had waged a fierce battle that bled into the night, leaving my mind shrouded in confusion. Finally, I chose to leave it all behind. So harsh. No matter the struggles faced, life continued its unforgiving advance. I had to face Gabriel to see if my choice had brought the peace I craved. My heart raced as I entered the living room, but what I saw left me stunned. Gabriel reclined on the sofa, his eyes shining with a familiar glimmer, and a soft smile played on his lips, echoing memories of the past. "Morning, sis." Gabriel's smile lit up the room, his voice a soothing whisper. In that moment I froze, overwhelmed by the heavy fog of my doubts. The Gabriel before me was a world away from the shadow I had seen just hours ago. His eyes, once dull with despair, now shone with a vibrant light. He resembled the joyful younger brother I had always adored, as if all that burden had vanished without a trace. Uncertainty thickened the air. Gabriel's knowing smile cut through, teasing me. "What troubles you? Your exhaustion is palpable." Restless night, was it? I forced a smile, hiding the tempest inside. "I'm fine, just a little weary," I said. Gabriel stepped closer, his footsteps breaking the silence, and placed a heavy hand on my shoulder. His eyes sparkled with profound gratitude. "Your kindness means everything." "I think I'm okay now," he whispered, his voice trembling. "Last night was a battle. I felt it, but now a wave of relief washes over me." His words ignited a storm of turmoil inside me. Relief surged through me as Gabriel escaped his torment, but guilt gnawed at my conscience, relentless and unyielding. Once he stepped out, solitude enveloped me, my thoughts spiraling under the weight of everything that had happened. His happiness enveloped me, a warm blanket, but the weight of our journey loomed, a stark reminder of sacrifices made. I promised myself it wouldn't happen again. Gabriel battled his demons, and I was resolute in reigniting our lost bond. The question lingered, an unshakable shadow. Could I truly erase the marks of my mistakes? From then on, the world resumed its usual pace between us. Gabriel and I never mentioned that night again, pretending it had never happened. Gabriel's laughter rang out, warm and inviting as he called me sister, his carefree spirit shining through. He seemed to have finally cast off the heavy emotional chains that had bound him for so long. Seeing him reclaim his joy brought a brief sense of peace, but guilt lingered, a relentless shadow that refused to let go. Every time Gabriel's calm eyes met mine, a question clawed at my insides. Had he really forgotten, or was he hiding the truth to spare me pain? As days passed, our exchanges flowed with a haunting familiarity, untouched by time. Gabriel often shared his dreams, exposing the fierce ambitions he longed to pursue. I leaned in, my gaze unwavering, offering quiet nods and soft encouragement when needed. In those haunting moments, the memory of that night surged back, a vivid reminder of the boundary we shattered, a line that should have stayed unbroken. One afternoon, as we lounged in the living room, Gabriel spun a tale that had me doubled over, laughter erupting from deep within. He turned to me, eyes glimmering with a softness that sent a shiver down my spine. "You look beautiful when you smile," he whispered, his voice barely cutting through the silence. I stiffened for a moment, then forced myself to appear indifferent. "Oh, stop flattering me," I said, my voice strained. He smiled, a brief flash of something unspoken, but the silence that followed felt suffocating. The conversation continued, unaware of the gravity, as if nothing had changed at all. An insatiable curiosity gnawed at me, driving me to uncover the mysteries within Gabriel's thoughts. Was it truly the end for him, or was he reaching for something we should never hold? While Gabriel moved forward with ease, I remained trapped in the past, unable to break free. Each night as I lay in bed, solitude enveloped me, and the haunting memories of that fateful evening surged, wrapping around me like a suffocating shroud. Questions raged within me, each one a haunting echo. If I could turn back time, would I dare to walk the same road again? The answer eluded me. Relief surged as I saw Gabriel emerge from his emotional storm. Yet guilt anchored my heart, relentless and unyielding. I crossed a line that should never have been touched. Each glance at Nathan deepened the weight of my betrayal, a relentless ache that intensified daily. He teeters on the brink, lost in a storm of doubt and fear. Everything that happened is a haze cloaked in enigma. What did I do? The questions haunt him, each more tormenting than the one before. His steadfast love intensified my guilt, a piercing reminder of the betrayal I let unfold. Fear clutches my heart, icy and unyielding, as I teeter on the edge of revelation. The dread of losing all I cherish sends chills through me, while the fragile peace I've built with Gabriel teeters precariously. Delicate as glass, I falter, ensnared in doubt, aware that a single misstep could break everything. I push myself forward into the abyss. What's done is done. There's no turning back. I will do everything to prevent this from happening again. Gabriel has found peace. His laughter echoes like before. He talks of his future with vibrant energy, and I hold on to the hope that he has truly left the darkness behind. Seeing him like this gives me a brief glimmer of comfort, a whisper of hope that perhaps my decision was right. For him at least. But for me the burden remains, shrouding my life in an unyielding shadow. I've accepted that this burden is my price to pay. In adversity I push forward, fulfilling my roles as a wife and sister. Each day I fight the crushing waves of despair, searching for the fragile paths that could mend my broken heart. To protect the life I hold dear, I must fight against the haunting memories that seek to engulf me. As I confront the shadows of my past, a harsh truth surfaces. My greatest mistake was allowing my emotions to eclipse my reason. I hid the truth from myself and those I love. Instead of confronting my loneliness and finding a healthier way out, I took a darker path, a scar carved deep into my soul, forever changing my heart's landscape. In the complex dance of marriage and relationships, honesty and open communication are the threads that bind everything together. Ignoring personal struggles only makes them heavier, turning them into shadows that grow larger. I should have reached out to Nathan from the beginning instead of carrying it all alone. I should have shared my longing for him, his steadfast care, the profound bond that connected us. In my failure, I caused pain to myself and broke my bond with Gabriel. I've learned that emotions, no matter how fierce, must be controlled. When they slip, they can drag us into chaos, stealing our peace and darkening the lives of those we love. Nothing is worth sacrificing your integrity, morals, or self-respect. Embrace your emotions fully. Do not hide or suppress the darkness within. Share your heart with someone you trust completely, your partner or a beloved friend. Facing challenges head-on reveals the way to real answers. Respect the boundaries that shape every bond. Boundaries are vital. They ground us, protecting us from the storm of raw emotions that can cloud our decisions, leading us to choices we may regret forever. In times of solitude or crushing pressure, seek the revitalizing comfort of positive outlets. Let exercise's rhythm lead you. Immerse yourself in a beloved hobby, or connect with a friend whose voice can lighten your burden. Find a way through the storm, something to ground your spirit and help you steer through the chaos of your feelings. Fight the crushing weight of loneliness that lures you into regretful decisions. Embrace the deep meaning of marriage. It goes beyond simple love. It centers on steadfast loyalty, profound trust, and heavy burdens. Don't let temporary challenges break the ties built over years. My journey reveals a poignant lesson, filled with depth and understanding. In times of confusion and doubt, I urge you to pause, reflect, and seek wisdom rather than surrender to despair. Don't let fleeting missteps destroy what you've built with such effort. And so my story comes to an end. Thank you all for being here as I unveil my deepest truths. I hope my journey sparks something profound within you. As we part, I say farewell.